You are now a loyal follower of the Villain District Podcast.
What a nice cup of Joe.
It is nice.
Hey, you ever watch the Rugrats as a kid?
You know I did.
What a nice cup of Job.
A Job? Is that where that comes from?
I think they called it, yeah.
I didn't know that. I've heard you say that for many years.
Every day.
Many years.
I came from the Rugrats.
Nice cup of Job. I hope that's true.
Where have you been?
That's a great question.
Where have you been?
That's a great question. Why do you ask?
You ever watch Walk the Line?
Yes, we saw that in theaters together, I think.
Yeah, well, yeah. I know that you have.
I know, but it's conversational to ask if I have. Yeah, I happen to have seen Walk the Line.
We dressed up in all black, and we went to a midnight showing of Walk the Line.
That's true.
But no, the reason I ask is because there's a moment in that movie. It's a really kind of traumatic moment in the movie, and Johnny Cash's dad goes, "Where you been?"
Oh yeah.
And it's. I just asked you that.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I didn't feel like it was as dramatic because you're not an abusive father. Was he abusive? I don't remember. He was emotionally abusive.
Hardcore.
Right.
Yeah.
Wrong kid died.
Exactly.
I remember Walk the Line really well. So
yeah. So we are sitting in a new facility,
brand new studio.
It's
it's
new. And just to get you guys caught up on what's happening around these parts and why we've been so, it's been so slim pickings in the listening world.
That's right.
We actually recorded the last episode you heard, which was Girl Gone Geek, Nicole Roby.
Yeah.
We recorded that like 2 weeks ago.
We recorded it a while ago, yeah.
But as soon as we recorded that, we were kind of in crunch time. We moved as a business into a new facility, and everything was dismantled. Yeah. Like the computers were all in pieces. Yeah. Preamps, desks, everything, mics, everything was gone, and we had yet to record an intro for that podcast.
True.
So we just kind of had to sit in the can for a little while.
It had to sit there. That's why you got to see that wonderfully awkward 2-minute video of me sitting in front of a bookshelf talking about why.
I was wondering about that video. Yeah. What's that?
What's that?
Why
did I do that? I felt like something needed to go up, and I wanted to let people know in advance, in a short medium, why we weren't around. So
I noticed you do a lot with your hands in the video.
Oh, interesting.
You should watch it.
I did not. I don't want to watch it. I got uncomfortable toward the end of recording it. I recorded it 3 times because at the time I didn't have any video editing software. So I had to just straight up know the points I wanted to say. Yeah. Say them. So I couldn't take it out if I started just using swear words like crazy. So.
So we've moved. Yeah. We are in a new facility. Chris and I, we are audio engineers, composers, mixers, producers, all that junk. Yep. And essentially the last several months last year, we've kind of merged with another company, and that company is Thoughtfly, and they are kind of like a digital media, online video making kind of company, but they also do broadcast TV at times, and they also do movies, films. Yeah. And I actually worked on one of their films. The last film was Loss Prevention. I'm actually getting ready to start scoring that movie. Yeah. Which will be my first feature that I score.
I was going to say that's going to be the next. You say last because it's in post-production now, but it'll be the upcoming film.
Right.
Is what you mean.
It's not out yet.
Yeah.
It's all shot, and there's bukus, which derives from France.
Really?
I think so.
Okay. We're gonna say it like it's true.
Yeah. I looked it up.
Good.
But lots of work to be done on that. But that being said, our new facility works more as a kind of a creative hub, kind of like a coalition of different mediums instead of our old place, which was a bunch of office space upstairs, or very little office space upstairs, which is where this entire kind of video company worked.
Yeah.
And then this entire downstairs of this building, which was really rad. Gonna miss that building. It's a fantastic building.
It was a great building, for sure.
But there were just a couple of rooms where Chris and I worked, and basically the whole first floor of that spot was just what we did.
Yeah, there were just 2 rooms, really, that were being used on a regular basis.
Right. And whenever, in the corporate world, you're paying X amount of money per square foot, right?
Yeah.
So we're a lot more efficient here.
Yeah.
And it's a different feel and
streamlined. It is. You know what? It's more cozy. I'll just go ahead and say that.
Yeah, it's cozier.
It's more it's more homey. It's more I have my shoes off right now.
Right.
Don't do that if you guys ever come in here because it's a place of business.
Right.
But we're here on a Saturday morning and my shoes are off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, remember when we were kids and you used to have to
not take my shoes off in public?
We used to make you wash your feet in the bathtub.
I remember that.
That took care of it.
That did take care of it. I don't know what it was. It was
It's called puberty, I think.
maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
It was not a hygiene. I mean, it was a hygiene issue, but it wasn't an issue of my doing something or not.
Right.
It was like there was about a solid year.
Yeah.
Where it was just bad news.
Yeah.
I guess I was like 14 or 15, so maybe that makes sense.
When your body changes,
your body doesn't know what it's doing. It's
stuff
like, oh,
happens.
Start pushing stink out of the feet. That sounds good.
I don't like the way you said that.
You don't like the phrasing.
Pushing stink out. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I didn't like it either.
I don't know.
But it's just how the world is sometimes. So.
But yeah, we're sitting in a new studio.
Space. We can see outside.
Yeah, there's a deck.
Yeah. I like that. I like the we got a nice early morning vibe. I would recommend listening to this in a calm and safe place.
I saw a squirrel yesterday go under that deck.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. It was peaceful though.
Oh, that's good.
It wasn't a raccoon. Don't get me wrong.
Right. That would be crazy.
Raccoons can be dangerous.
Yeah, that's true. They're
you
violent.
Shouldn't
violent
approach.
creatures.
You
No.
shouldn't approach a raccoon.
Don't throw chips at a raccoon.
You can do that. That's
Oh, okay.
fine.
Never mind.
You're at
fine.
a distance.
Yeah, that's true. Well, but have you ever thrown a chip? It doesn't go very far.
I've seen you thrown it.
Right.
Just kidding.
You can frisbee them.
I'm just
frisbee 'em, maybe.
yeah.
Right.
I threw a debit card yesterday, and
Oh, yeah?
I kind of put it between my index and my middle finger, like if you're making like a scissors thing.
Right. Yeah.
I put it there, and then I held it over my head, and then
Yeah.
I like kind of flicked the wrist.
Yeah. Gave it
And
a nice gambit.
yeah, that's exactly what it
Yeah.
did, and it really took off. So
Yeah.
maybe I'll try that with the chips.
So what you're
next time.
saying is free debit cards. If you're hanging out with Joe, that's what I hear.
Yeah,
just
it
saying.
rains. It
Yeah.
rains debit cards.
Making it rain. There's no money linked to those accounts, but yeah, free debit
Well,
cards.
no,
The free debit card accounts. There's no money in.
right, exactly. So what's new, man? Let me make sure we're recording.
Are we going?
We're recording.
I don't want to say all that again, so let's pretend we were, even if we're not. I think we are.
Yeah, we're good.
You know, not much is new. I've gone back to school, which is also work for me, so I'm doing that. And you guys are
You're
putting
molding
up walls.
minds. You're molding 'em.
Molding young minds and old minds, middle minds.
What's your? How old is your oldest student?
I have no idea. I don't know that I'm legally allowed to ask. Who's the oldest? Raise your hand. I mean, we have some non-traditionals, what you call non-traditional students.
Yeah. So I was
But, yeah.
walking around campus about a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I saw a man couldn't have been a day younger than like 94.
Okay.
Walking around campus.
Right.
He was wearing like beige shorts.
Okay. Okay.
And he was wearing like
Good.
a tucked in like short sleeve button up shirt.
Huh. Okay.
Had like a laptop bag. What are those? A book bag?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
A satchel
Yeah.
over his shoulder.
A
he
hip
was taking,
satchel.
He was taking
Yeah.
very short steps
Yeah.
across, like just going across campus.
As you would.
Probably like 6 inch steps instead of like 2
Yeah.
feet steps. Just
Right.
Up.
Yeah.
And I walked by him and I'm
Slow and
like,
steady.
that dude just left a class and is probably going to another class. Mm-hmm. And that is so freaking cool.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how he wants to spend his time.
Well, I was going to say, and
It's-
he's doing it for free, too.
Right. Mhm.
Yeah, because that's amazing. I was once in a class with a lady who was probably pushing 90, I guess, and she had just, she made a deal with her husband that if she worked to support her husband during school, he would have to work to support her during school, and she had just not stopped going to school. So she just had a bunch of degrees in
Wow.
lots of different things, lots of bachelor degrees.
That's
yeah.
That's radical.
Yep, she just kept going. So that's what I've been doing. You guys been putting up walls, being in new
Yeah.
spaces,
Soundproofing.
yeah, all that stuff.
I feel for, or I don't feel for. That's stupid. I have a newfound respect. I said this 3 years ago when we renovated our house for 4 weeks. But I have a newfound respect for anybody in that kind of trade.
Oh yeah,
It is so
construction labor
hard.
or something. Yeah,
It's such difficult work. I'm sure like anything else, your body kind of acclimates to it. But like playing a guitar or a keyboard or clicking a mouse all day
right
is not strenuous work
or
for
talking,
your hands.
talking some. Yeah,
Yeah. But I, for the last week, have had muscles hurt in my palms and hands that I didn't know could
you
hurt.
didn't know there were muscles there.
Yeah.
Thought it was
Like
empty
swinging
space.
hammers and all that stuff. And
That's right.
holding up drywall, and it's hard, man.
It is. Yeah, absolutely. I wasn't even here for all of it. I was here for a little fraction of it, and it was horrible. So here's a thing that's changed a little bit since we last had a podcast, is the seasons. The seasons are changing, and I've been thinking about it quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's really hot right now.
Yeah, I was going to say today's probably not the day to mention that.
Today's not the day for that.
But by the time this is out,
Right.
oh, dude, I'm so excited.
By the time this touches their earphones, the sweet, sweet taste of fall could be upon us.
Dude, for me, like,
Oh my gosh.
I always enjoy each season for what it is.
Right.
You know, summer's nice because you get to go swimming and you do all those things. Spring's nice because the warm is coming back.
It's coming.
But fall, I don't know what it is. But as soon as that cool air hits your body and your skin feels the crisp, there's just nothing like that feeling of change.
Absolutely.
That's the best change.
Yeah. No, that totally is. It's the best season. And I don't know why. I always feel like I always also identify more with things that I liked when I was younger in the fall. I've found that, and I don't know why. Like music I want to listen to is music I used to listen to a long time ago in the fall, stuff like that. It's so weird.
You know, I wonder if it has anything to do with No, that's stupid.
No, go with it.
As a kid, like, there was always a certain dread, but a certain joy and excitement you felt for the new school year.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, it was kind of awful.
Right.
And, like, for me, I was like, I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to talk to me. I just want to hide under my bed, that kind of personality.
Oh, yeah.
But there's always that new feeling of, like, you go back and the kids are different and you find your friends again and the weather's changing and Halloween's coming up. And
yes. Yeah.
I don't know, like,
totally. I feel like fall is and I essentially said this in other words, and you're saying it in other words too, but it's like a nostalgic time.
right.
I don't know why that is. Why is fall nostalgic?
I don't know.
I wonder if it's that way for everybody, or if it's just, I mean, you get what I'm saying, right? Like, I don't know why, but it feels like, I don't know.
This is what I learned about
Super
you.
nostalgic. Tell me.
I learned this about you.
I'm excited.
I don't know why I've never picked up on this, but you haven't been in a haunted house since you were a kid.
Yeah, that's true. No, I haven't.
I've been in, like,
I have not.
several, and for whatever reason, all those haunted houses I went to, in the back of my mind, I kind of tied you to those experiences.
Nope.
You just weren't there.
I was not there. You started going to haunted houses when we lived in different cities, when I was at
Right.
school. And you had become an adult and went back to haunted houses, and
Right.
during that time I did not go back to haunted houses.
You're still in that, like, purgatory of, like,
Yes.
Tiff and I went to it changed all. First of all,
Yeah.
I forced myself to go back to haunted houses because of the fall season, because of the festivities.
For sure.
Festivities. Did I say that?
That's right.
Festivities. Is that what I said?
Festivities.
I think
Yeah,
I
you're
said.
good.
I think I.
Festivities?
Yeah. I just feel like because I'm just really tired and, like,
Yeah.
drained, I said it weird.
Yeah.
We'll have to get a playback.
The emphasis was wrong.
Yeah. I feel like my voice is hitting at weird peaks today.
Junctures. You're
Yeah.
Christopher Walkening it.
Yeah, a little bit. But what were we talking about?
You went to
houses.
haunted houses because of the
Right.
festivities.
And there's a squirrel. That's the one I was telling you
Yeah, I was
about.
watching him eat a cookie or something. Oh, He's got something, and he's running across the
You
deck.
see, there's something. Look how light he is. Like he's like a little fluffy. But he's so quick.
Listeners, I suggest you quickly find a squirrel to look at.
Look at that.
That would be a great.
Look at that.
That would be
He just scaled
he's jumping. He's light.
He's gonna go to the top of that.
Oh, there he is. He's up on top of a tower. All the visual things that we incorporate in this podcast are just so fun.
Sorry. But
I'm on board. I would listen to somebody talk about a squirrel they were watching. Anyway,
I mean,
yeah.
I force fed myself all of these things that were part of my favorite season.
Yeah.
And I made myself go to haunted houses. I think me and Jake, you guys know Jake. He's been on the podcast a few times.
Good man.
He had hot wax dripped on him or whatever. That guy.
Yeah.
But we went back in Monticello, back in our hometown, actually. Probably in the fall of 2011, maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
And the schools were both having haunted houses.
Oh yeah.
And our alma mater, Monticello, which doesn't exist anymore.
It's not there, yeah.
But they had this haunted house, and it was just superb.
Yeah.
Like the way they did it.
Oh, nice.
And it just sparked something. I'm like, I went to haunted houses as a kid. I was scared, but it was like I always felt so good afterward, leaving.
Yeah, you get that. Yeah.
So Tiff and I were in Florida a few falls ago, and we decided to go to Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
At Universal, and it's just like the park just turns into one big haunted house.
Yeah.
With several little haunted houses on the side.
Uh-huh.
And I remember feeling such like dread and excitement going, but once we got in there, and we're like, we're okay.
Yeah.
We're here, like they're here to entertain us, and we're here to enjoy with.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And now I just love them though.
Yeah. I'm ready to do some. I'm ready to get into that mindset of being excited about them. Yeah, I'm ready to wear a hoodie while I'm doing that. Ready to wear a hoodie.
Hoodie weather.
I'm gonna drink something that's pumpkin flavored. You're not gonna be doing that.
I'm not so much.
You need to
into
find a
pumpkin
pecan flavored thing.
Yeah,
something that's gotta fall. Just something spicy. I like the spiciness.
Yeah.
Do you like the spicy?
Yeah, like Tabasco or
right. Exactly. Yeah. Jalapenos, ghost peppers.
No, yeah. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Apple spice or cinnamon or
like potpourri.
Potpourri. Chew it up. It's delicious.
Oh, dude, fall candles.
Fall candles.
You ever do fall candles?
I love fall candles. Let me be honest right now. Yeah.
It's instantaneous joy.
Yeah.
In nostril form.
Let me tell you, I think this podcast already, this episode is just a perfect podcast for a bath. This is like the most relaxing conversation podcast we've ever had. We're drinking Job, and you're talking about fall.
Listeners. Can you smell that?
That's maybe not, they'll hear that differently.
Yeah.
But so I'm ready to go do some haunted houses. I think that'll be fun. I want to do the one where you drive around in a car.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty fun. Did you do that one?
I haven't yet. Last year and the year before, we forgot to do it until 9 p.m.
Yeah.
On the last night of the thing. And it's a scavenger hunt.
Yeah, right.
So.
And you find 2 haunted houses.
You got to start early in the evening.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Duncan, and he said there might be like 4 or 5 houses you can go to.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Depending on your hunting skills.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
That's called Danger Run here in Louisville.
Right. Let me do this. Let me see if this works. Our listeners are a silent presence for the most part.
Except your dad and my mom.
But let's exclude them only because they don't live in Louisville. But if we have Louisville listeners who have haunted houses to recommend, since I'm looking to find myself enjoying that as an adult, please let us know somehow.
Yeah.
Just get word to us.
There has to be some way.
There has to be some in this interconnected world. I could just, I'm home around 2 to 5 every day.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know, and we'll try some of those out, and we'll report back to you if you do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We in the Villain District Band. I just got a funny text from Jake. It said, "I need to go to Bed Bath & Beyond. Want to go?"
Little did he know we were just talking about fall candles.
Yeah, so my reply is totally.
Totally. Yes, I do.
But we in the Villain District Band played a show last night at the Tim Faulkner Art Gallery.
That's right.
And if when we actually played that, then you can actually pinpoint when we're recording this.
That's true. Yeah, if you were there, when you understand that.
Mm-hmm. But we played with Technicolor Steamboat.
Yeah.
And Abby Labby Land.
Yep.
And it was a good time.
It might be Obby Lobby. I'm not sure.
Obby Lobby Land.
I'm not sure. Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
Sorry. Or sorry.
They're Canadian.
Yeah.
They're not.
No, they're not Canadian.
But
yeah.
we played with Technicolor, and Austin Roush, the guitar player, has been on the podcast, and at the time their band was called Jolly Hammurabi.
That's right. Same band. Changed the name.
Yep. And they have a new name now, and their singer, Brandon.
I know where you're going.
He was the guy. We've talked about him. We still want to have him on the podcast. I'd like to.
Yeah, we'll have him on at some point.
Every time we play with him, like we Brandon and I talk a little bit more, and get a little warmer with each other or whatever. Just
get to know one
another. Two
another.
guys that don't know each other very well.
Right.
I still want to ask him about his time on The Voice. He was on.
Oh, right.
Was that NBC?
I
think he was on
or Fox or something. I don't know.
Maybe Team CeeLo Green or something.
No, he was on Shakira's team.
Oh,
yeah.
Who was I thinking about?
I don't know.
Who's Brandon?
Who's Brandon? Wait, who was I talking to last night?
He was on
Shakira's team.
I was thinking about somebody else. Yeah.
Yes.
But he has been posting in the last couple of days these videos on his Facebook page.
That's right.
And they're called like Big Rodney or something.
Yeah, that's the character.
And
I assume that's what they're called.
You want to stick around to the end of this podcast. You're only going to get audio.
Right.
But you're going to hear.
Oh. We'll link it. We'll link it in the description.
And we'll link it.
We'll link it in the description. It's too funny.
This dude's so funny.
Oh, my goodness.
I didn't know it was him at first. Those wide eyes and his face is like, morphed and transformed by one of those robot cameras or whatever.
Yeah. Just makes his chin huge. He's developed this really great character who's just kind of a good old boy, big fat guy, and like Brandon's like a fit dude. He's not a big guy, and so he made man boobs out of a pillow. Was what I hear, and he's developed this character that's hilarious. So we will definitely link that.
But if you guys were wondering why my voice was so deep today, it feels deep.
Feels deep.
It's because I never sing unless we play, which is poor. Poor choice.
Poor choice.
I should really just sing
just
for
sing. Just in the car, man.
Just shout it. Yeah. Shout it.
When you're listening to Kiss.
Shout it out loud.
Yeah.
But today my voice is just like, I'll sing the parts that we write are a little in the higher kind of upper tenor maybe register.
Yeah.
And the next day my voice just goes
yeah. Well, and also it's the morning. No, it's not. It just crossed into the noon. So, but we're having coffee and it's the morning-ish. It feels like the morning. So, yeah, that's why Joe sounds like that. Sounds like a demon. Oh, speaking of that,
a demon.
So speaking of that, I was just thinking go back to the fall haunted house thing. I'm concerned about not concerned. I have that still childhood anxiety about haunted houses. Totally wouldn't have that for like a seance. I've had some friends who are like, let's get a Ouija board, or actually they're all like, let's not do that. And I'm like, let's do that. It'd be hilarious and fun. Yeah. But haunted houses.
I'm just.
Oof.
But so I know where your head's going.
Right.
Your head is like haunted houses are a tangible thing, and
there
I know that there are people in there.
Right.
I don't know them. I don't trust them.
No.
I could get stabbed.
Who knows?
You're not going to get stabbed.
Right.
But
Probably
you could.
Not. Probably not. But yeah.
And for you, a seance is like
you just sit there.
You just you just sit there.
You just sit there.
And for me, it's like I'm like haunted house is like it's just people.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
And
totally.
then for a seance is like the thought and idea of like the unknown of this demons and like
horror, awful,
like it's one of those things where like I've never experienced anything like that.
Yeah,
but
you're not looking to.
I mean, certain like kind of spiritual upbringings I've had and stuff like that. Like those kind of things, they're kind of deeply rooted.
Oh yeah, sure.
And they have a certain they ring true
Yeah.
in a sense that, like in our last facility over at the pub, we had some, our landlord, Brian, had brought in one of his like medium friends one day, and he said his friend walked through the doors and said, "Oh man, man, this place is full."
Oh wow!
And light just popped on, and it's probably Duncan.
Oh okay.
And that
a light literally just turned on behind me. Good.
It's
good.
It's got to be Duncan.
I'm really glad.
But
as we're talking about this,
those kind of things still give me the willies, man.
Sure. Yeah.
So
no, I'm sure I would have the willies. Like if I ever went to one of those things, I would be creeped out. But I think I could talk myself down from it, and I'm sure I could with haunted houses too. But it's like sitting around
people in masks.
Yeah, sitting around a thing is like I'm just gonna feel creepy, and then we're gonna leave. But the other one's like something is going to quote unquote get me, right? Even though it's a person in a mask. Yeah, they're gonna jump out and they're not gonna do anything. But But yeah, I wonder if that do movies about this sort of demonic or supernatural or whatever?
They're worse.
They're worse for you?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. It's the opposite for me.
Really?
Yes. I was wondering if that would hold true across movies too.
Totally.
Because it does. Like that movie, what was that movie? I've never watched it because it looks too scary. The Strangers? Never watched that.
Oh, I haven't either.
Never watched that.
Yeah, when I think...
Just as an example of a movie that would terrify me.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good example because those kinds of movies where it could actually happen.
Yeah.
Coffee burp. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Bringing it back.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. And it's those kinds of movies for me are kind of like a little depressing.
Yeah.
Because I know that like these people were just they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything.
Right.
And it's like that kind of psychological like brain buster.
Yeah, it's a bummer as much as it is scary.
But like Exorcist style movies, that kind of stuff. Yeah, those are the ones that keep me up at night.
Really? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw The Exorcist when I was like 10 or something, and I was horrified of it forever. Yeah. It was really
And we went back last Halloween and watched it.
Yeah, we saw a midnight showing last Halloween. Yeah, for sure. You know what, listeners, if you're hanging out with us right now and you're listening to us talk about fall, let us know about haunted houses, but also let us know about any fun Halloween activities. We're both relatively new to the city. We're getting to where we can't really say that.
This fall will be 3 years for me.
3 years for you, 2 years for me, so,
Now, there are lots of like corn mazes and stuff like that, like farm stuff. That stuff's a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
We went to like a
harvest festivals.
Yeah, we went to a zombie paintball thing.
Oh, nice.
Last year. I think last year, the year before.
Yeah, no, I remember you going to that.
You basically get in a wagon, and there's paintball guns just lining the side of this wagon. Yeah. And you just unload, like they drive you through a maze, and you just unload on zombies when you see them.
Nice. Yeah. Do the zombies shoot back? Does anybody shoot at you?
Do the zombies shoot
back? Well, yeah. Okay, never mind. Wait, does anyone shoot at you?
No.
Let's do that. Okay, no. Well, that's good.
It's you just get to unload your frustrations on poor people.
Wasn't it like
wasn't it
firefighters that did that or something? Was it something like that? Like local firefighters were involved, or
there
was
was some here. We actually went to another one that was maybe like 40 or so minutes. We might have gone all the way down to E-Town to do it. I'm not sure. Yeah. But that one was just a bunch of it was like a really small, like locally owned farm.
Oh, yeah.
And a bunch of farm boys dressed as zombies.
Nice.
But I think there's one closer to here that is like local firefighters or something like that.
Cool. Well, yeah, we got to find some stuff like that to do.
Totally.
Most definitely. Mm-hmm. Well, do you want to do a picture book pastime? Throw one of those in here? Throw a little segment in? Do you got some things?
Are you ready? 'Cause here it comes. Picture
book. Here's the thing. This is what we need to do, though.
What's that?
Everyone that's listening just heard the intro song, right? For our picture book pastime.
Yeah.
But we're not going to title this episode Picture Book Pastime.
No,
and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
People don't like them.
That's true. We tricked you.
Yeah,
we tricked you into it.
You stupid.
Well, to be fair, To be fair, too, the last picture book pastime we did, I think, was a full episode of that.
Yeah.
So if you weren't into comics,
A lot of comic books.
if you weren't into comics, you weren't into the whole episode.
Yep.
And who's not into fall?
Yep.
Should be everybody.
So I've been reading this trade paperback
Yeah.
called Deadly Class. It's Image,
Cool.
and it's written by Remender. Is that you say his name, Remender?
Rick Remender?
Yeah, Rick Remender. And it's really interesting. It's like this high school of like assassins.
Yeah.
So all these kids in this high school, all of their parents are like, there are different cliques and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But all of their parents are like either like mob bosses or,
Yeah.
big time hitmen and stuff like that. There's another one, and it's pretty interesting. Like this main character, this kid, he's like 14 or 15, but he's like living on the streets because of a problem with his parents at a young age. So he's homeless, and he's kind of made friends with like the homeless people.
Yeah.
And there's something he did as a kid that we're not sure what he did, but basically he got recruited off the streets by this Mr. Miyagi looking dude.
Yeah.
And his like these four other 14-year-old assassins from the school. They came and saved him from this like little police showdown thing in the streets. And now he's part of the school.
Oh, that's cool.
And it looks pretty interesting.
Yeah. So you read the first trade?
Yeah, it's a mature audience. It's not like a kid thing.
It's not.
It's like
yeah.
Curse words. People are being. It's an assassin. People they kill people.
Yeah. Is it an Image? Title?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Image does a lot of stuff that's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you've ever read The Walking Dead compared to watching it on TV. It's different story. It's
right. I didn't get far enough to where I saw those really harsh differences from the book and the television show. I sort of dropped off of both before they diverged.
Yeah,
real
even
hard.
just the language, like
definitely
the language in
stuff.
the book is simpler.
Yeah,
but it's also just full of four letter obscenities.
Yeah, for
whereas
sure.
the show just can't do that.
And I heard about some of the actions that some of the characters took, like what's her name, Michonne, I think.
Yeah.
Some of the actions she took in the book that I don't even remember well enough to say, but I probably wouldn't anyway. Like pretty
promiscuous.
Well, not even that. No, like the violence.
Oh.
Some of the violence that she did that I heard about. I think it was her. But anyway, it was really horrible. It was like shockingly awful.
Oh,
yeah.
No one say anything.
yeah. So, but anyway, so no spoilers there, hopefully. But so Image does a lot of explicit stuff.
Yeah, they do it. They do it to it.
Speaking of Remender, I actually was going to mention a title by him. I read the first trade of Black Science.
Oh, how was that? I've got it. I haven't.
It was really good.
I've read like
fun.
the first 3 pages because I started one night and I'm like, I'm going to read this, and then I just got super tired.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's really fun. It's sort of it's a jumping through time and space and dimensions type of story, but it's really grounded in this cool like psychology of this character and his kids and stuff. And yeah, really, really good. So I got to get the second trade of that.
Totally.
So I read that. I read a book called Southern Bastards.
Yeah.
That I don't think we had talked about.
I still want to read that one.
It's Jason Aaron wrote it. It's an Image book. And it's really rough. It's a really rough book, but it's super good. And I read the first 2 trades of that, and he does this interesting thing. It's about this like small town in, I think, Alabama. It's in the small town, and this sort of corrupted football coach runs the town. He's like sort of the head of this. He's sort of bought off or intimidates all the police force and all the law enforcement and everything.
Yeah.
And he just runs everything. And this town cares enough about football that it kind of lets him just destroy this town and abuse it. And then this guy named Tubb, I can't remember his first name, he comes back to town. He grew up there and he left. And he comes back, and it sort of is about this altercation. He realizes what's going on in this town and decides to sort of stand up to this football coach.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting, but it's almost like an one thing that made it so interesting is it almost sets up as like a sort of anthology series, kind of, just in the approach to storytelling. So the first trade is definitely about that, is about these 2 men sort of being antagonistic to each other. And this football coach is definitely the sort of bad guy or the antagonist. And the second book is kind of a flashback about, and none of this is spoiler stuff, but the second book is about the childhood of the football coach.
Oh.
And so in the second book, the football coach is kind of not the protagonist, but he confuses you. Like,
sure, well, it's like the Netflix show Daredevil.
Oh, yes.
Episode 8, I think it was.
Yeah, the Kingpin episode.
Yeah, the Kingpin episode.
Yes.
It's like
very much like that.
That's so good.
Very much like that. It humanizes the bad guy.
Totally.
In a really interesting way. So, yeah. And Jason Aaron has also been writing Thor, because Thor is female at this point.
Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to check that out.
Yeah, I want to read that really bad. So, most definitely.
Most def. You got anything else? Was that the segment?
Trying to think if I've read anything else. I had this big stack that I got at Fandom Fest in Derby City.
I haven't read any of my stack.
I was trying to get through it before I had to start teaching, and I got through all but like 3 of them. So I read a bunch of stuff. I read Road to Perdition. I think I actually mentioned that when I went on Brian's podcast. But
cool.
But yeah, Road to Perdition was really good. Have you seen that movie or anything? It's like a 1930s like sort of historical fiction thing. It's about like it involves like Al Capone and all this stuff, and it's just kind of a good old-fashioned revenge story, but with a father-son dynamic that makes it really fun. And it was super good. It's like a novel, just like a novel.
Yeah, good book, man.
Yeah, that's
I
what
like
I thought.
that.
That's what I thought when I read it.
Speaking of demons, the next book I'm going to read, I picked up at Fandom Fest is Outcast by Robert Kirkman.
Oh yeah,
and it's like Walking Dead to him was what happens after the zombie movie's over.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Well, Outcast is what happens after the exorcism movie's over.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does the demon just leave? Everything's fine. Like at the end of The Exorcist, sure, the guy jumped out the window and all that stuff.
Right.
Spoilers.
Yeah, 30, 40 years spoiler. Yeah, something.
Yeah, but
yeah.
So I'm going to read that next.
No, that looks really cool. I'm actually planning on buying that at the comic sale on Wednesday that we go to. So
very cool.
Yeah. No, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Got any other picture books you want to mention?
I don't think so. I've been so exhausted every day. I haven't been reading anything.
Yeah,
it sucks. But
that makes sense. You're building walls.
Yeah,
it's hard to read.
There are some non-picture books that I want to read. I've got this. I've got a nice Vonnegut collection building with a lot of potential energy that needs to be converted.
Yeah,
and Barry Hannah. I've told you about Barry Hannah.
Yeah, you
Barry
told me
Hannah
about
is
Barry
this like he's very Vonnegut-esque, I guess.
Yeah,
in the sense that kind of very modern prose writer. He wrote a lot in the 80s.
Yeah.
I don't even think he's still living. But he writes the thing I love about Kurt Vonnegut's writing is that when he was interviewed about why he chose to write science fiction, he didn't know he was a sci-fi writer.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, he just said.
And I can understand why he didn't know that. Having read some Vonnegut, it makes sense that he wouldn't be like, well, I'm writing science fiction. Like,
yeah, the guy just has a good mind and a creative mind.
Yes.
And he's odd.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But his books, like, the thing with Vonnegut's books, and if you haven't read Vonnegut, listeners, go read Vonnegut.
Read Slaughterhouse-Five.
Yeah, for sure.
Come on.
For sure. But the thing about his books is, like, the focus is not necessarily on the sci-fi aspect.
No.
You know what I mean?
No,
it's about
not at
the
all.
psychology of the characters and the meaning of life in a weird way, you know?
Like, dude, especially, like, Slaughterhouse-Five in particular is interesting. I'll try to be as non-spoiler as I can,
Sure.
but you know, it's about this guy. First of all, Vonnegut's in the book himself. He's a character, and the first whole chapter is in his perspective.
That's right.
Writing this book.
Yeah.
The rest of the book is from the perspective of this character, Billy Pilgrim. And Billy Pilgrim will bump into Vonnegut every now and then.
Yeah.
In the war. But they don't really exchange words or anything.
Yeah.
He's just kind of there. Every now and then, the narrator say, "That's me."
Yeah.
But he's writing in third
that was
person.
Me. Yeah. No, that's very cool.
Pretty cool. But so this character Billy Pilgrim is basically like an accidental time traveler.
Yeah.
So when he reaches a certain age, he gets abducted by aliens.
Oh, that's right.
And
it's been a long time.
I can't even Traumaphidorians or I
something.
I don't remember. It's been a while. But so he gets abducted, and he basically gets put on display naked
that's right.
with this beautiful naked young movie star.
Yeah.
And they're forced to kind of live together and like procreate and do all these things, kind of like a
zoo.
Yeah. And but then basically what starts happening is these aliens don't experience time in the third or the fourth third dimension.
They don't experience it as passing.
Right. They experience time in the fourth dimension, which basically means it's just you can go forward, backward, up, left, right, down. There's no
it seems static.
Yeah. And they view humans as these big, long, caterpillar-looking things.
That's right.
Like at the very tail end is a baby, and the very other end is an old person.
Yeah.
So throughout the book, this character is bouncing around in time. He experienced the bombing of Dresden, which if you don't know anything about the bombing of Dresden, look it up because it is messed up.
It's
what we did and
Very true.
the British and the U.S. and
I don't even remember. Yeah, it was an Allied bombing of Dresden, and I don't remember. It was like, wasn't it like the war was over anyway?
It wasn't
officially over, but
the war was won.
The war was won.
Everyone knew.
Yeah,
and basically what what we did is we targeted this really peaceful section of Germany.
Right.
Like it's
lots
like
of civilians.
A picture book, picture book, but picturesque part of Germany, very peaceful.
Yeah.
Which they had a few military camps there, and we just wiped it off the face of the planet.
Right.
We destroyed it.
Yeah.
After we had already won the war, in order to send a message.
Sure.
Don't
do this.
Do
anymore.
what you did again.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's pretty much the moment that Vonnegut's writing about in this whole book.
Yeah.
It's like this senseless type of killing.
Yeah.
So he's using this weird way of traveling through time as if you're even if you live your life all the way up until your death.
Yeah.
But even then you travel back and you experience Dresden again, you experience middle age with your family. You experience all of these things over and over again.
Yeah.
He's basically taking value away from birth and death.
Yeah.
And just experience. So it's kind of his way of using science fiction to cope with the kind of senselessness of all the people that died that day.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
and
that's not what the book's about, but I think that's what he's saying.
Right. Yeah. He's a writer who his themes come through really heavily, at least for me. Like it's about the narrative plot points. It's about that, but it's kind of it brings this bigger issue forward sometimes. And so like with Slaughterhouse, I remember thinking, well, yeah, it's about the meaninglessness of death and war, but also just whether death at all can mean anything, or something like that. It's just really good. He says, "So it goes" over and over every time. So it goes
every time. Yeah. All these little pieces. Like,
It's
very good.
Yeah, very good. Go read that if you haven't read it. Actually, that reminds me, I'm reading a non-picture book right now. My dad was very happy about that because I'm. For listeners who don't know, I can read nonfiction. That's like no pictures, obviously. I can read big, thick nonfiction books, like technical stuff, or I can read comic books. But I have a hard time reading, aside from Vonnegut, really, or Orwell, I have a hard time reading fiction with no pictures. So anyway, I'm reading a fiction book with no pictures right now. It's a young adult book. Called,
nice.
Yeah, called The Fault in Our Stars, which is... Yeah, I'm almost done with it. I'm not quite done.
So you jumped down the YouTube hole.
I did, that's why I'm reading it. So I had no idea. I guess I had heard of it, but I had no idea what it was about.
You know that was a movie, right?
Yeah, that's what I found out afterward, but I didn't know that initially.
What's her name? Shailene Woodley.
Okay, yep, I know that's a name.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is, but...
It's she was cast as Mary Jane Watson, and then she got cut from the movie.
Okay, yeah.
And she was in Divergent and all those movies.
Okay, I didn't see those either.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the author of Fault in Our Stars has a YouTube channel with his brother called the Vlog Brothers. And so I was watching that, and those guys are super interesting and fun to watch. And then I found out he wrote that book, and I liked what he had to say, and so I read the book. And I feel like listening to him speak and reading the book, I like the book more than I would have otherwise.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's more of a understanding like how this guy works and the way he tells a story, and not just the story that he told.
Yeah, because it's a story of a terminally ill teenage girl.
Right.
And so, not much for me to sort of identify with other than the sort of, But he has a sort of Vonnegut kind of thing too. Like the whole thing is very... it's about meaning in a bigger way than the story. So it's cool.
Very cool.
Enjoying it. Recommend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. That was good.
Yeah, I like that.
To talk about
that. Quick sip of Job.
Yeah. Hold on. I can't drink it as hot as you. Hold on.
Right. There you go.
Yeah, I can't do that.
That was real. That is true. You don't even have a lid on there. I'm immediately, as soon as I pour it, I'm like, keep that heat in.
Do you just not burn?
No, you just, no. Mm-mm.
It physically like burns me.
You just sip it.
Like right now, I have one of those burns on my tongue that I'm going to feel for a day.
Really? For a day?
For a day.
All right.
Because I'm human.
Here's the deal. I think that my mouth and how I sense things with my mouth is dulled in some sort of way in general. I'm not good at picking out flavors.
Yeah, it's because you've been drinking coffee too hot.
That might be the cause of it, and not an effect of it. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, maybe I'll try to not do that, and then I'll eat something and see if I can taste the subtleties of flavor.
Totally.
But let's talk about music. You want to do that?
Let's talk about music.
Or let's talk about sounds in general. Yeah.
Let me tell you what I'm excited about.
Please do.
I'm excited about creating the music for a feature-length film.
I hear that, man.
And there's something really interesting about approaching music in that way, and I think Will and I have talked about, we've recently become a part of the Destination Nation Network, which is basically a coalition of podcasts.
Yeah.
We'll have our own little spot on their website, and it kind of all started with this comic shop that Brian Barrow kind of started, and Brian and Evan, and which we need to get Evan on the podcast.
Yeah, we definitely do.
But we've had Brian and Eric on the podcast, and I'm sure you've enjoyed those, because who wouldn't enjoy listening to Brian just tear us to pieces?
Who would not enjoy that? If you haven't heard Brian Barrow for some reason, go back and listen to that episode, and then check out his podcast.
But you want to listen to ours first?
First. Priorities, people.
We can say whatever we want about Brian, because he doesn't listen to podcasts.
He doesn't listen to podcasts. He owns a podcast network and does not listen to podcasts. Yeah. Good.
Cool, man. Real cool.
Yeah, real cool, man. Keep it up.
But that being said, I mean, each kind of podcast on the roster covers, a lot of them are a lot like ours, very kind of conversational, with panels and guests and all that stuff. But each one kind of covers a base, I guess.
They have a niche.
Right. And ours, we kind of want to start talking, or maybe even, we're not even sure, maybe you guys have an opinion on how we do this, but kind of covering a little bit more music stuff. Maybe even just like a little section at the beginning or the end or something. Yeah. To where we don't change the format very much, but we
keep bringing you what we've been bringing you, but just include a little bit of
because we're kind of we're a part of this new team, and we're kind of the music guys.
Right, that's true.
We're going to be developing like theme songs and stuff for each podcast, and we're going to be doing some more like sonic branding for the company and that kind of stuff. Yep. But that being said, we kind of want to have a little bit more focus on music now and then. And I know a lot of you guys really enjoy our band and when we play and the songs and stuff we release. And I know you probably dig those behind the tunes stuff where we kind of talk about the creative process and stuff. But we're just not creating songs all the time.
Right, we're busy.
But there's a lot of sonic... what's a word that starts with S?
Sonic. I don't know.
Sweetness.
Sonic sweetness. Yeah.
There's a lot of sonic sweetness out there
That's
in the ether and
right.
the world, and we want to cover that base a little bit.
Right.
I think
Chat about it a little bit.
we're the music guys.
Yeah. And we've got so for example, I know we have, and we would love to keep having musical guests as well. Like have the.
It sounded like you said musical guestes.
Musical guests.
That's what it sounded like you said.
I stand by my words.
You probably should rethink that.
I probably should. Yeah. No, I don't think I can improve on what you said. I think I agree with it. So.
But that being said, here's what I do. I just go down these little rabbit holes and like, well, if I'm going to say this and
Right.
explain this, if I go, well, I got to
Right.
explain this and this and this and this, and my brain is just a jumbled mess of turd. But TIRD turd.
That's right.
But Will and I approach music very differently. When we first
True.
started playing music together, my brain, I can write lyrics, I can write poetry, I can write prose. I'm actually much better at like prose and fiction writing than I am poetry because I don't know, I just am.
Yeah.
Poetry, like making, I don't know. I'm gonna scratch that. I don't want to go into poetry at all. But so Will has always been the kind of lyric guy. When he listens to a song, he listens for meaning.
True.
And for example, we both listened to the same song a few months ago, and I'm like, dude, that
Right.
song is bad.
Right.
That is such a good song. And he said, did you watch the lyric video?
Right.
I said, no, I don't know what he's saying.
Oh.
It's just like the music. And it was actually a Muse song.
Yeah.
And he lyrically he wasn't feeling it.
Oof.
And after I read the lyrics, I wasn't feeling it as much, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I wasn't that worried about it.
Well, and the interesting thing too is like I was exposed because Joe, your girlfriend Tiff, told me to listen to it because you guys had been listening to it a lot,
Right.
And she showed me the lyric video, and I was like, oh, I was just really taken aback because the video just displays the lyrics. What's the name of the song so that people can know what we're talking about?
I don't remember.
Drones?
Is it called Drones?
I think it's called Drones. If
Yeah.
you Google Drones, you'll find it. Muse Drones.
It's got the gnarliest riffage.
It does, and so I watched the lyric video, and I was like, ugh, like the lyrics are just so on the nose and cheesy.
Yeah.
And then, but later we were driving somewhere. I think we were actually driving to Derby City Comic Con, and we were listening to
And
it.
I cranked up the
You
speakers.
cranked it in your car,
And you're feeling it.
The sonic nature of it is fantastic.
Yeah.
But
And-
when it was just those words were in my face, I just couldn't take
Right.
it.
And so for me, when I was a kid, like the kind of music that like really sparked something in me was stuff like Phantom of the Opera,
Yeah.
because I wasn't as worried about what they were singing about, but
Yeah.
just the sonic qualities, the way the progressions change from major to minor,
Yep,
and
yep.
like struck certain chords in your core. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the part of music that like to this day science can't explain
Right.
why a sound can bring a tear to your eye.
Why they have this
Like
emotional
why?
sort of
why?
trigger. Yeah.
Why is that?
Right.
Is that something that's learned? Is that something that's conditioned, or is it just something inherent to
Yeah.
that sound?
Yeah.
But those are the kind of things I look for. I look for rhythm. I look for kind of abrupt changes in the music that's not like jarring, that just works, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Stuff that makes it feel fresh and new.
Yeah.
And Will looks for like
I don't look for that.
poetry.
I mean, I do like that. Obviously the sonic quality of music is important, clearly. I mean, I don't just listen to poetry. You know what I mean?
You should.
I don't know that I should. I went through a phase, and I don't want to listen to poetry anymore. I listened to slam poetry for a little bit there.
Oh, that's
And it
good
was-
stuff, though.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
But nevertheless, yeah. So I mean, the meaning is important, but also I feel like the sonic qualities that we are attracted to are a little bit different. They overlap a lot,
Sure.
but different aspects. So I think I am much more attracted to rhythmic things.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Than like tonal
Sure.
differences,
Yeah.
like chords, like switching from major to minor. Sometimes I won't even notice. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, and then if I think about it, if I'm very conscious of it and I pay attention, I can notice it.
Yeah.
And it makes some effect on me. But, like, it doesn't just happen.
Right.
Do you know
Well, I
what
think for me, at times, it's almost like a bummer. It's a hindrance because, like, I can hear a song, and as it's playing, I'm visualizing the chord progression on an instrument. But
Right.
I can't. That's just what
You just do that.
What my brain does.
Right, yeah.
Because I've played it before. I know that progression.
Yeah.
So the mystery behind now, if something's like, I can't visualize how they're playing that.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that's like, oh, I want to listen to that again and again.
Oh, that's interesting.
But then eventually, I'm like, oh, I know there's no more.
Oh, yeah.
There's no more magic.
See,
behind
that's
that.
interesting because I feel like on a first pass, a lot of the time I don't get what I get out of a song later because I don't know what they're saying. I don't know what it means.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the same.
And so it's like if I hear, and it's weird. The music has an influence on the meaning of words.
Totally.
You know what I mean? In this really interesting way. And so, but no, I think I gravitate more toward rhythmic things because a lot of what I get out of music is the sort of communal sort of aspect of it.
Yeah.
And so I think when you get really simple things, like really simple beats and stuff like
Yeah.
that, it's very like you could have a crowd doing this together.
Totally.
And that sort of that creation of meaning.
Yeah. And
is
see,
what
for me,
kinda does it.
like the simpler a song is,
Yeah.
the more you have to really hone your craft.
Right.
Because there are moments. I'll take it back to Muse.
Yeah.
But on their last few albums,
Yeah.
the drums have been like just like kick, snare, kick,
Yes.
snare.
Right.
And it's crafted so well musically
Yeah.
that you don't realize that it's just
that simple.
that.
Yeah.
There's no crashes.
Right.
It's a closed hi-hat.
Yeah.
But sonically, it's so
There's a very
big
like
and-
subtle complexity to how they do it.
Sure.
Yeah.
it's a craft. It's
Right.
a honed craft.
Right.
And if you do simple right, it can be like
Sure.
super powerful.
Well, and I have to be I don't have to be in the mood to enjoy that, but I have to be in the mood to enjoy that kind of music for that reason.
Right.
Does that make sense? So like if I listen to because I could listen to the Sex Pistols, for example,
Right.
who are just really not very good musically.
No.
I mean, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? They're the craft that they are honing is not that.
No,
Whatever
exactly.
it is. Do you know what I mean?
They're like
It's a different
it's
thing.
It's like a force of nature.
Yes,
There's something very natural.
It's very much about just getting out energy in some
Yeah.
sort of getting out emotional energy in
Totally.
a particular type of way, and you can do that. I mean, and I think that's interesting. Like I like to listen to like bluegrass or like folk.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or like these things that are 3 chords over and over and over,
Right.
with sometimes even super simple lyrics. But it's a different.
And for me,
thing.
when it comes to bluegrass,
Yeah.
like give me the Punch Brothers. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right, because
where their harmonies and progressions are going to be.
Are complex.
It's like
It's like Radiohead on a
right.
Yeah.
Let's throw Mozart into
Right.
some like
Yes.
some good old boy stuff.
yeah.
And yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, so I think with that being said, and these sort of complex views on music and how it works and what it is and how we approach it differently, I think a segment on music will be good.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot to cover, especially with such different brains kind of
Yeah,
battling on the field.
totally. And, we might, I mean, it's not always going to be like, oh, I've been listening to this band. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not like that. It'll be
No,
broader
but like,
than that.
I mean, I'll be doing a lot of work on the film score
Yeah.
side of stuff in the next 2 or 3 months, and
For sure.
I'd like to talk kind of about the process there. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, most definitely.
Like with a movie, like you kind of have to. I've done some shorts and stuff. I've never done a feature. It's gonna be something.
Yeah, it'll be some work.
But you kind of have to just commit to the sound of the movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And everything else kind of has to follow suit.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. You
Yeah.
don't want because the music in a movie completely here's the perfect example.
Okay.
The music in a movie can completely inform the emotional
Yes.
tone and feel of that movie.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Take all of this isn't score. This is more soundtrack, I guess. Just music. Take all of the butt rock out of 2001's Daredevil.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that movie's going to play
play very differently.
Very differently.
Absolutely. Yes.
If you take the Daredevil score from the Netflix show, which is it's kind of 80s inspired a little bit.
Yeah. Which is a thing right now, right? There's quite a bit of that. Yeah.
There's some droning, kind of distorted synths, but there's also some like drums and guitars and stuff, and it's a cool sound right now, and I really dig it.
Sure.
But if you take that score and put it over that Daredevil movie, it's smaller feeling, but that movie would play so much better.
Yeah, it would play better.
Or play differently, I guess, and in my opinion, better.
Right. Yeah.
But and another example, the movie It Follows.
Yes.
So I don't know who has or hasn't seen that. You haven't watched that yet.
I have not watched it yet. It's on.
You might as well just wait until the fall season.
Oh, right. True. Yeah, we should.
We'll watch it in the studio or something. Crank the speakers. It would be great. And in horror movies, there's a ton of like sound design stuff that really makes a horror movie because it has to appeal to all the senses or whatever.
Sure.
But It Follows was a really good movie, great horror movie. It was very fresh. There were even moments that kind of felt like coming of age. I don't want to say Spielbergian, but maybe a little bit of that kind of teenagers. You don't really see any of the adults, that kind of movie.
Yeah.
But the score, this guy named Rich Vreeland did the score, and he did it all on his laptop with Native Instruments massive plug-in. And a few other plugins, but so punk rock just to get your your laptop and a keyboard and make a full score for a feature-length movie.
Totally.
But that score completely informs this kind of 80s vibe on the movie, which kind of tweaks the way you perceive the visual. The picture is going to automatically, with that score, is going to look a little bit more timeless, a little bit more nostalgic.
Definitely.
Whereas if you put like some like heavy metal guitars on that picture, it's going to look like a Rob Zombie flick.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep. It's going to be very stamped as to when it was.
Exactly.
And it'll probably end up being very stamped as to when it was. But
totally,
in the moment, it feels different.
But what's so interesting, I don't know what it is. You know, there are certain elements of that score that are 80s, I guess.
Yeah.
But there's something timeless about it at the same time.
Yeah.
And it maybe have something to do with, like, in the 80s, there were certain staple horror movies that came out to where that kind of era is now considered like...
it became timeless.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
For sure.
I mean, there are a lot of modern elements in that score as well, but it's kind of like a John Carpenter score, like on... Speaking of which... John Carpenter.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Nope.
No.
I know what you're thinking.
Never mind.
Yep. Yeah. But actually, one thing I was thinking is, you know, we here at the Villain District Podcast obviously love the fall, and Halloween is fantastic, and we love it.
Yes, I thought it sounded like you said Halloweenus.
Halloween. It's a very different holiday, but Halloweenus, we love it, and it's great. And we're going to do a bunch of Halloween-based stuff here on the podcast, I think, just to celebrate the season and squeeze every drop out of it that we can, every drop of pumpkin juice.
Yeah, now there is like a Halloween kind of thing happening at the DNN.
Yeah,
right?
at the DNN across the board, and we will definitely be a part of that, and we may even expand it a little bit. But I was thinking we should have some sound segments talking about some horror movies, and
sound design,
horror movie sound design and scores, and stuff
all
like
that stuff. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. Let's do that.
Definitely, let's do that. Cool.
All right, I think we've covered it.
I think it's good. Yeah, I think it's great. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Anything you want to? Oh, I know what you were thinking just a minute ago.
Yeah,
Wes Craven passed away.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I mean, they're both masters of horror.
They're both masters of horror. I'm like, John Carpenter, no, he's still alive.
No, John Carpenter's kicking it.
No, Wes Craven.
Wes Craven passed away.
Yeah.
So we got to this episode was for him because it's about fall and Halloween and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The dude was a master.
Absolutely. Let me think. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So check out the DNN at destinationcomics.com. We are now a part of their network, so please go there and check that out. Also, if you're in Louisville, go check out the Destination Comic Shop. It's a good time. I don't have the little script that they read, so I'm not reading. I'm just saying this.
Yeah.
But
hey, they can't control us.
Yeah, you can't stop us, Brian. You don't even listen.
We're creative, and you can't
hold us down.
You can't strangle out our You know?
Right.
You can't do that.
Right, you can't. So don't even... all right. Also, October 1st, Phil and District Band will be playing at the Tim Faulkner Art Gallery in Louisville, Kentucky. So you should drop by, say hey.
Yep. We're also playing at the Tim Faulkner Art Gallery on October 1st.
Oh, yeah, I almost forgot.
And,
You done good, Joe.
You done good, Will.
See y'all.
Hey everybody, it's your favorite big boy Rodney. Just trying to get back to y'all with an update on the business. Rodney does it. I'm sorry if it seems like I'm out of breath. Just went on a jog. I'm trying to get back into shape, okay? Because the doctor said I had... Hey everybody, it's your favorite big boy Rodney. It's coming at you with another update on the business. Rodney does it. Wanted to let y'all know I had an idea yesterday on account of after my video went viral. I had so many, such an influx of calls, and I couldn't even handle it. That's what they call supply and demand. It turns out my demand's a lot higher than my supply. I figured website helped me out quite a bit. Y'all could mail me, and I could get back to you, at my earliest convenience. So I started thinking of names I could, call the website. I figured first and foremost I'd come up with a good, catchy name, okay? So I thought BigRod.com would be, best option. I figured, hey, short, sweet, to the point, BigRod.com. Hit me up. Well, it turns out I looked up online, and there's already a BigRod.com, not fortunately. There's a bunch of boys on that website dangling their peckers out. I was all like, whoa, hey, whoa, all right. Little much, okay? Some of them boys got a 1.5 foot long pecker. Hey, y'all do what you want to do, but that ain't me, okay? I ain't about that life, right? So anywho, I figure I can't call it that. Can't be BigRod.com. So I was wondering if y'all could help me out, if y'all had any ideas, names you thought would be good, something catchy. So just let me know, because I'm not very tech savvy. All right? It's just not my forte. So just hit me up if you got a good idea. Other than that, keep it real, and always keep it real.
Thank you for listening, DNN.